Do you find it hard to forgive yourself for certain things that happened to you in the past? Are you hard on yourself for the abuse that you received? Do you punish yourself for attracting narcissistic relationships into your life? Oftentimes we can hold an awful lot of self-blame for certain things that happened to us, for trauma and abuse that happened to us. But it's not our fault. And we need to be able to release that inner resentment and inner anger so that we can feel free. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is the thing. We can hold so much inner anger and inner resentment towards ourselves for the things that happened to us. But we're not to blame. And, when we're holding in emotions like that, especially anger, inner resentment, this can come up really, really, as I've said, if we're holding in emotions, it can come up like a pressure cooker. And it comes out in unhealthy ways. And we don't even realize it. We just think, okay, I was born angry, or I inherited this anger because this is what I was telling myself. And that bugs me because I describe myself. I have had a lot of inner anger. I felt like, I was born into that, or, it was inherited anger. But I rediscovered when I looked deeper within that it was my inner child. My inner child was angry. Angry because she felt, that she wasn't cared for. But it actually went deeper. And I'm only actually discovering this lately. I'm actually holding a lot of inner resentment towards myself for the way I perceived allowing myself to be abused. Now that's fucked up. I didn't allow myself to be abused. I didn't ask for it. I didn't sit here and say, here, please hurt me. I didn't see it. And this is the thing that's been triggering me. And this is the reason I've discovered that this anger was here. It's deception. I'm very triggered by inauthenticity, but it was deception. The amount of people that lied to me, that deceived me, but I wasn't even angry towards them anymore. I'd healed that side. I'd actually forgiven them. But I was finding it hard to forgive myself. I was actually holding anger towards myself for letting it happen. I didn't let it fucking happen. It was unresolved trauma and, my wounding that attracted these relationships. I didn't choose it. You know what I mean? I didn't. But why am I angry towards myself? And this is the thing. I've been so triggered lately. I've been working on my anger issues on and off over the last few years since I started awakening. And I healed a lot of stuff. And then I healed more stuff. And for months now, probably nearly a year, I'd say, every time I sit down and watch a movie or a TV show, I get so angry. I couldn't watch a comedy because, I was watching the comedy, but I couldn't laugh because I was getting so fucking angry. And I was like, why am I so angry? Why can't I not sit down and watch a program anymore? And I'm getting so angry. Why am I getting triggered at little things in my life that don't even matter? Where is this anger coming from? I'm like, I could feel my blood boiling. And I was like, where is this coming from? And I was avoiding it. We all avoid, don't we? We all seem to go, it's fine. And it's inherited. I hate this thing. I was born this way. No, you weren't. You were born pure. You were born unconditionally loving. And learned behavior and your surroundings caused you to inherit fucking anger or fucking negative fucking toxic traits. So we're not born this way. So if you learn that behavior, you can unlearn it. Sorry, I'm shouting at myself here. Sorry. But you know what I mean? I was avoiding. I was avoiding for a long time. I was still getting this bubbling up anger, and I was just trying to figure it out. What's going on? But I didn't ask myself the questions. And that's what I do when I therapize myself, is I will sit with myself and I'll ask myself questions. But I was getting so frustrated with this feeling. I don't want to be angry anymore. So I actually just sat there and I asked the angels. I was like, please help me. We forget sometimes that the angels are there to help us, but they can't actually help us unless we ask them to fucking help us. So I sat there and I was like, please, will you just guide me? Show me the way. And then all the fucking messages started coming in, all the signs. The signs were there already, but they came in all at once. And that's the thing, we will get little signs, like there's a sign here and a sign here and a sign here, and we don't fucking listen. And then they all come in all at fucking once. And when you ask, and then you're like, this is it. It's all making sense. And that's the thing, I wasn't angry I was wondering, was a lot of my anger towards the programs or the movies to do with my heart chakra? Well, it is to do with my heart chakra. It's all to do with the fucking heart chakra. You know what I mean? And I was just like, is it just because I'm lonely, or is it this, or is it that? And loneliness came into it a little bit. I'm not lonely, but I was getting like, when all the messages started coming in, I was like, I'm angry with myself for having to leave all the people in my physical reality because they were all deceitful. Why am I angry with myself? I've made a really hard decision to choose myself. I should be proud of myself. And all the messages start coming in. And the reason I'm angry with the programs or the movies is because there's so much fucking deception. Everyone's hiding something. Everyone's trying to get one over on somebody. And, I couldn't even sit and watch a comedy, but, I wasn't laughing throughout the comedy because I was like, fucking hell, why is everyone so deceitful? And it all boiled down to me being angry with myself. Me feeling that I allowed this to happen. Me feeling that I was weak. Me feeling that I caused this. And this is another thing, I had to walk away from a toxic family member because he turned around to me and said, I chose to be with my narcissistic ex, which led to my trauma that happened. So effectively, he blamed me for that trauma, which I already blame myself for because my ex blamed me for it as well. A trauma that happened to me. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. Why does the victim always blame themselves? Why? This is like in Good Will Hunting, and it always comes back to this, right? This famous scene, and he's talking to the young lad. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And the young lad say, yeah, whatever. I know. Yeah, whatever. It's like, no, it's not your fault. And this is what I'm screaming at myself and to you guys. It's not your fault. How is it the fault of the fucking victim? I used to watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I can't watch it anymore. I used to be screaming at the television because the victim would turn around and blame herself. For what? For an asshole abusing her. Until it happens to you, you don't actually understand that. And then you actually realise you're the only person that you fucking blame. And I had to reface an awful lot of my trauma from the past. Unknowingly, I had such self-blame towards a lot of things. But it's only in the last week that I'm after realising I was angry and resentful towards myself for not seeing behind the lies, for giving the wrong people the benefit of the doubt. And that's why I was angry with myself. You know what I mean? I give people chances that don't deserve chances. And that's not because I'm doing anything wrong or there's something wrong with me. It's because I have a kind heart. And this is it. We're giving out to ourselves. We're blaming ourselves. We're saying, oh, how could you let this happen? How are you weak? Or how, you're so weak that you let this happen. You didn't let this happen. You had wounding from childhood where your heart was craving. Your soul, your inner child, you were craving to be loved. You were craving to meet somebody who had the same kindness as you. And deceitful people put on a fucking mask. And they lead you to trust them. That's not doing anything wrong. And it's funny, I love how the universe works. You're going to get signs everywhere. Every time I do a video, I get signs afterwards that I did the right video because that message will come up. But even yesterday, I watched an episode of The Simpsons and it was literally in it, this young lad deceiving Lisa because, putting on these fucking fake contacts to look all blue-eyed and everything. And, literally, pretended to be someone he wasn't so that he could take her spot on the music in the band. And it was just like, ugh, Jesus, you know what I mean? This is what I've done my whole life. It's I've literally not seen behind the mask. But why? I'm angry with myself for somebody who literally played a role. You know what I mean? And this is not just romantic. This is people I've tried to help. This is male, female. These are friends. You know what I mean? My first narcissist was when I was 16 because she was all buttery and lovely. And everyone thought the sun shined out of her arse until she started deceiving me. You know what I mean? Until she started to show her true colours. How are we supposed to know these things until we do now. A healed empath, which I am now, can see through the mask, which I'm grateful for. You know what I mean? I can actually see a narcissist a mile away. I can see a lie and smell a fucking lie a mile away now. But when you're unhealed, when you're suffering from severe fucking trauma, all you want to do is be loved and cared for properly. So you actually trust, you just trust with an open heart. And these people know that. These people put on the fucking mask because they fucking know that. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do something wrong to attract these people. And if somebody tells you otherwise, they're not your fucking people. And that's why I had to walk away from my dad, is because he's like, you chose to be with him. Ugh, no, my fucked up childhood led to that. But I don't blame you. I just blame myself because everyone fucking else blames me anyway. Sorry. Obviously, I'm still healing this. So yeah, like I've been doing a great way to actually overcome this is obviously to go within and I figure out what's wrong. Because even figuring out what's wrong, I'm less angry. But obviously, I this is funny. I get a download to do a video, or I'll be going through something myself and I'll do a video. And it's only after I do the video that I'll actually heal more. So this video is actually really beneficial for me as well. But I've been doing reprogramming meditations, to reprogram the subconscious mind to release that anger. I've been doing other meditations as well to release this. But the common denominator is that I've been angry with myself for me thinking that I let this happen. For me thinking that I did something wrong to attract narcissistic relationships. No. Trauma is the reason we attract assholes. That's it, like. You know what I mean? If we don't love ourselves, we cannot expect a decent person to love us. So therefore, the narc comes in, puts on this friendly fucking mask, and pretends to be everything that we fucking want. And then all of us, when you get hooked in, when you start to trust them, they will flip the switch. Then they become the asshole. Then they become the abuser, the person they truly are. But that's not your fault. If somebody physically, mentally, sexually abuses you, it's not your fault. It's not the fault of the victim. And I'll say it again and again, it's not your fucking fault. And that's the thing, if your friend, and we have to keep bringing us back to this. If your friend was a victim of any kind of fucking abuse, are you going to turn around to them and say, Jesus, what did you do to attract her, you fucking idiot? You're not going to fucking say this stuff because that person wasn't at fucking fault. You would be compassionate and caring and say, I'm sorry that you went through that. It was not your fault. It was not your fucking fault. So why can't we speak to ourselves the same fucking way? Sorry, I curse a lot more when I'm passionate or angry, whatever. I used to deny my anger before. I used to be like, no, I'm not angry, I'm just passionate. I'm fucking angry and I have every right to be fucking angry. But I have no business being angry towards myself because I did nothing fucking wrong. And and that's the thing, you have no reason to be angry towards yourself because you did nothing wrong. You weren't weak. You were actually heart open and you were wounded. Weak and wounded are not the same fucking thing. They're not. You're wounded. That's it. You're not a weak person. You had trauma. And this is what happened. And this is the thing. I had to, and I understand, I'm less triggered now the last few days since I've uncovered this. Now, obviously, I still have a lot to heal. I'm not finished healing this yet. But the minute I realized I was angry at myself and it wasn't inherited fucking anger or it wasn't learned behavior that I was forgetting that I could unlearn, I was like, why am I so hard on myself? And that's when the part came in as well, like where I was like, I had to walk away from everyone in my physical circle because they all were deceiving or narcissistic or this, that, the other. And I was angry with myself towards that. And I was like, what? Angry with myself that, everyone in my past circle was narcissistic or deceptive or liars or evil. You know what I mean? I was angry towards myself. I was like, how did I surround myself with such people? But when you're in a low energy, when you don't love yourself, when you're unhealed, you're going to attract shit because you feel like shit. And I used to say that to myself, when I was so unworthy, I felt like shit. So I felt like I only deserved fucking shit. And this is unconscious until I healed. I didn't turn around. I wasn't walking around with this fucking thing in my head when I was unhealed going, I'm a piece of shit, so I'm going to attract shit. I didn't sit there and ask for it. I didn't. You know what I mean? But looking back, I obviously felt so unworthy that I only believed that the toxic love that I received was love. That I didn't do anything wrong there. I just perceived myself in such a lower energy that I attracted lower energy. I was in a low vibration, so that people in my environment were low vibration. Now that I've healed, or I'm continuously healing, I'm attracting high vibrational love into my life, in the form of soul family and, my twin flame. This is all happening because I've healed. So please don't blame yourself. I mean, I'm saying this to myself as well. We have that's where our anger comes from, really. If that anger isn't going away, if you can't find the source of that anger, oftentimes, or sometimes anyway, that anger is actually directed towards ourselves. And this was a big wake-up call for me over the last week, is like literally, I've been angry with myself. I've been hard on myself. I've been resentful towards myself because, I had to pinpoint the triggers. Like, why was I getting angry with all this stuff on television? It was deception, but not just deception, because I know I'm triggered by inauthenticity. Like, take off the mask, please be real. But it was because I had given so many people the benefit of the doubt in my past. I had let people in, or, and not listen to my intuition. And my intuition would always kind of poke me and say, don't do this, but I wouldn't listen. Which is fair enough, because I prefer to have learned the lesson than have, I know that sounds weird, but like, I rather have gone through what I've gone through to experience it so that I know how to heal it, rather than to not have known. But then again, you kind of wonder, like, it's weird. But now I'm healed, I won't do that again. So I can't be angry with myself because I didn't do anything fucking wrong anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, this is why I'm less triggered the last couple of days. Actually, do you know what? Actually, this is really, really amazing. I watched a movie the other day, and like, after I discovered this, and the movie was called It's What's Inside. And the whole movie was about people being deceptive. They switched bodies, in a sense. And when they were in other people's bodies, which is obviously deception in a sense. And then they were actually more deceiving because they were in somebody else's body. So the whole movie was about fucking deception. And guess what? I wasn't triggered. I was like, whoa, miracle, man. You know what I mean? I was so fucking happy. And I've been actually able to sit down and watch things since and not get overly angry. And it's just like, wow. When you realize the source, you can actually fucking fix this shit. It's been fucking months since I could sit down and watch a movie and not get angry. And to watch a movie like that and not get angry, I was like, oh, yay! So this stuff works. Use meditations to reprogram your unconscious mind. It's really helpful to clear that toxic anger from your system. Use self-forgiveness meditations, and just like, the way I've seen it, I've been able to forgive the people who hurt me quicker than I was able to forgive myself. That's fucked up, because I didn't do anything wrong. And forgiveness isn't for them, it's for me to be able to release myself from that pain and that trauma that released their hold on me. But if I don't forgive myself for what they did, then effectively they still have control. So if you're still angry with yourself for what your ex did to you, or whatever your abuser did to you, that person effectively still has control of your life. And I wondered this because I kept dreaming. I continuously dream about my ex, and that's because there's messages there, and they have gotten lighter, the dreams. So I know I've been healing what I've needed to heal throughout these things. But I was just fucking asking myself, what the fuck is he still there for? Because he still has control of me, because I am still angry with myself for letting it happen. I didn't let it happen. And this is what we have to understand. If we want to release complete control of them, or their complete control on us, not only do we have to forgive them to release that, we need to forgive ourselves. We really do. Because that person or that situation will always have control of you if you do not forgive yourself. You did nothing fucking wrong. It wasn't your fault. It was never, ever your fault. So the way to release that anger is to stop being so hard on yourself. Stop punishing yourself for something that you didn't even fucking do. Because once you release that inner anger towards you, you can finally release that hold of that trauma once and for all. So if you want to get rid of that control, want to get rid of even them out of your mind, forgive yourself. You did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. It is not your fault. It was never, ever, ever, ever your fault. I promise you that. So, forgiving yourself is a way to release that resentment and anger towards yourself. Please stop punishing yourself. Please. Because you did nothing wrong. You were a victim of trauma. You were a victim of abuse. You did not ask for it. You did not call it into your life. You did not say, come here and hurt me. You didn't choose a narcissist on purpose. You were wounded and you were trusting. That's all you did. That's not a bad thing. And they were the ones who deceived you. So release it and forgive yourself. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you would like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path.